In my official opinion, all respiratory virus vaccinations and messenger RNA biologics need to be recalled immediately. Joy, love, community, and purpose. Many studies show that being a human being helps you fight germs. It's a shocking concept. Injecting synthetic messenger RNA COVID bioweapons into humans is wrong. Your government was upside down and became the destroyer of the civil liberties for which it was tasked to protect. Natural immunity is the best path for humanity. So the answer is always more freedom. The science is never settled. We must have informed consent.
Dr. Irene Mavrakakis is a physician in private practice, a clinical assistant professor in the Department of Surgery, Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine, the founder of Liberty Speaks Incorporated, host of the Liberty Speaks with Dr. Mav podcast, and a member of the Republican Liberty Caucus. She frequently lectures on medical freedom and its constitutional basis. She's the author of the Medical Freedom chapter entitled Medical Freedom, My Body, My Choice, and the book A Gold New Deal. Dr. Mavrakakis is also the author of the peer-reviewed published paper called IgE-Mediated Cytokine Storm in Vaccinated Populations, Call for Further Investigation and Caution, and that's the paper she's going to be discussing today. That paper was published in the Journal of American Physicians and Surgeons in the summer 2025 issue, and as I mentioned prior, she's also the co-author of the peer-reviewed paper Dr. Bzivets discussed. And that paper is also published in the Journal of American Physicians and Surgeons, and it just came out early September.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Well, thank you to Dr. Villa and Abraxas and all the team members. And thank you for coming out to talk about such a difficult topic. And I'm going to preface my talk by telling you a funny story. When I came here yesterday, all the balloons were in here, all those latex balloons. And I ran out crying because I'm anaphylactic to latex and latex balloons. So Brax and I have been in this fight in Delaware, God help me. And I called the Brax and he's like, "You're crying already? What's going on?" There's like death balloons in. Can't talk about the IgE, allergy component of the cytokine storm when I'm in anaphylaxis, which came from my vaccine injury in 2012. This is what I want you to understand. I do this because I was really sick in 2012 from a flu vaccine. Because I'm an allergic kid. I'm that annoying allergic kid with all the allergies. And then, weirdly as it may be, flu vaccines, some of them had latex in it. So I got injected with latex. So I want you to sit with this because my job is to explain your immune system and explain why injecting synthetic messenger RNA COVID bioweapons into humans is wrong, okay? Because, guys, if the COVID virus is a bioweapon and the spike is the most horrendous part of the bioweapon, and then we can talk about injection and things like that, and that's the key. I want you to understand why everybody's so sick, or part of why. Then, of course, injection of synthetic messenger RNA that goes into your body that makes you a literal spike protein producing factory is a bioweapon. And not only that, if you already had COVID, it is a cytokine storm nightmare. Why? And I'm going to even show you pictures of antibodies, all of them. So you're going to understand antibodies. Why? Because if you already had COVID, You made antibodies to the spike and all the proteins on the surface of this virus, and you already had natural immunity. And then, God help us, we injected instructions to make you make more spike, and the cytokine storm went bananas. Why? Well, let's talk a little bit why. Dr. Ladapo said that we're these souls incarnated in these bodies, created by God, or you can say nature. I'm a Christian, I'm going to say created by God. Amen. And do you think that God made a mistake? You think babies are born hepatitis B vaccine deficient? Do you think he made a mistake with nature and food and that there's not this complex system? All of the things that are wrong with our food is the same problem with what's wrong with the hubris of humans messing with our immune system and pretending it's a closed system. It is not. It is beautiful. It's like the Fibonacci sequence of nature. Do you guys know what that is? Like when you look at a leaf, our human immune system is like this beautiful Fibonacci sequence of brilliance. Okay? You guys are going to know more than all the doctors except for like 100. So I'm going to explain the immune system, and then we're going to talk about one component of the cytokine storm, which is called IgE. All IgE is, when I keep saying that, is immunoglobulin. Your immune cell globulins that help fight germs, immunoglobulins or antibodies. All right, everybody got that? I'm going to test you later. That's it. Immunoglobulins are antibodies. You're going to know what they are. This is your immune system. You have those white blood cells. We know these things. Antibodies, which you're going to be experts on, they're just proteins that help us fight out germs. Cytokines, like we're all afraid of the cytokine storm, but the cytokine storm is your body literally trying to get rid of poison. It's poison. You understand? That's what it's doing. Your body's like, I can't handle this. This is killing me. I got to get rid of it. Your spleen is a component of it. Your bone marrow makes all these different tissues. Lymph nodes are all around your body producing these cells. The thymus is where T cells mature. We're going to talk about T cells. T cells, you know, AIDS, and when people have AIDS, they talk about their T cell level. That's why they're talking about T cell level, because they're very important in your immune system. And these tonsils and adenoids that we keep ripping out without wondering why we're ripping them out, because the reason why they're so huge is because these poor kids are having what? Upregulated immune systems. Why? We need to know why. So, these things work together to make you this beautiful immune system. Two components, the innate immune system and the adaptive immune system. The innate immune system is your first line of defense. And if that fails to destroy it, we have the super duper adaptive immune system. All of these things that you guys hear about. And they're much more specific. But remember, the immune system is this beautiful system that's meant to attack foreign. When we inject things into you, the intended and unintended consequences, that's where a lot of the side effects come from, and the other stuff that's put in that injection because it's not pure. And your body, because we're going to see, is a beautiful immune system. So I know it's a lot. You have these cool little cells called phagocytes, but your first line of defense is your skin. And if you get a cut or whatever, these cute little phagocytes come and literally eat the germs. But they also do something very interesting. They take pieces of the germs and present them so that they can start teaching your adaptive immune system to make what? Antibodies, the scary antibodies, which are what? immunoglobulins, or the globins of the immune system, right? So there's enzymes and proteins, and these enzymes literally eat the germs, use all these chemicals, break the bacterial cell wall, break the outer covering of the virus, and then there's the natural killer cells, which also kill your own cell that's infected, right? Because that cell's all screwed up. If you don't get rid of the germs, toxins, parasites, injected synthetic messenger RNA, your adaptive immune system starts to kick in. And even in that first exposure, in a few days, you already have these IgG cells, IgM, and they start to attack on that first round of exposure. They also create these memory cells for the future. The T cells create memory, the B cells create memory. And this is the other point that I'm going to test you guys on. This is what natural immunity means. It's this creation of these immune cells, antibodies that are very specific for certain components of the toxin, the injectate, the virus, the bacteria. And so they're much better at killing it. So your immune system, when you're sick, it's just busy. So this adaptive immune system, it's very smart. It has T cells, B cells, and the antibodies. This is a busy slide, but don't get bogged down on what all of this is saying. I just wanted it there for the record so everybody could have it. These T cells are made in your bone marrow, and then they go to your thymus where they mature. And they have all of these important points, right? They kill the viruses, they become T helper cells. T helper cells bring their friends, the what? B cells. You're going to like this. You're going to have an epiphany in just a minute. Stay with me on B cells. B cells are getting involved now. And we're going to hold with the B cells. The T cells have receptors that they attach to the germs. And if they have a match, like it's literally a lock and key, they make more B cells and T cells. So they're kind of like telling everybody, hey, what is this stuff that's in me? I got to get rid of it. Everybody, let's go. Let's make a army of immune cells, right? B cells. They're actually my favorite. I think I'm more stuck on antibodies than everybody else. They're made in the bone marrow and they mature. And then they are matching those antigens, right? And then the helper cells are telling them, hey, we have an invasion. And the B cells are kind of like a caterpillar and a butterfly, I guess. They become plasma cells, and plasma cells make antibodies, immunoglobulins. Same words, then there's different types. IgG, immunoglobulin G, immunoglobulin E, immunoglobulin A, right? Everybody with me? Hooray, you're brilliant. And then there's cytokines. The cytokines are your way of protecting your body because it doesn't want all the viruses and the like and the toxins to win this game because you will die. So I know cytokine storm is scary, but it's not really scary. It's just that it's out of control. The antibody is labeled right here. It's just protein with the sugar group. Travel around, and they attach to toxins and viruses, and they mark them. You're bad, and they're able to process cells that are not infected. So they help even the primary immune system, the innate immune system, recognize what's bad and what's not bad. So, antibodies. They make germs harmless. They attach to the cell surface. Do you guys see the cute little antibodies attaching to the pathogen, and then the natural killer cells like, oh, I got to get rid of this. This is very important. And then all the cytokines are like involved in that. This is all they're talking about. IgA is very important as it relates to respiratory virus vaccinations, and the fact that, in my official opinion, all respiratory virus vaccinations and messenger RNA biologics need to be recalled immediately. They have never decreased morbidity and mortality. The flu vaccine has not decreased morbidity and mortality. And just to make you mad, we're going to slip in a study. There's a study from the Department of Defense from a few years ago, right before COVID, that shows that flu vaccine increases coronavirus susceptibility by 36%. Table 5. So we have IgE, IgD, IgG, and IgM. And that's how the antibodies attach. See, that's literally a complex. And the three components are neutralization, the eating of the germ. So, how do you stay healthy? You eat real food. You look at the sun. Vitamin D levels above 50 nanograms per milliliter will pretty much make you not be sick from viral illness to any significant degree. And joy, love, community, and purpose. Many studies show that being a human being helps you fight germs. It's a shocking concept. So the difference between traditional vaccines and MRI are huge. Traditional vaccines are a piece of dead virus plus all these added ingredients that typically cause a problem. And messenger RNA, like we discussed before, is injection of instructions. And we can have immune reactions to all the extra stuff that's in there because we're not supposed to have things injected into us. Traditional vaccines take 10 years. Operation Warp Speed was 10 months. Skipped a lot of safety trials. So why was injecting synthetic messenger RNA a terrible idea? Well, we discussed it a little bit. When you produce antibodies, you target all these different antigens. So the messenger RNA was only to spike. So when it mutated, you didn't have the opportunity, unless you had natural immunity, to have these antibodies to all the different subtypes. That's why natural immunity is better, because you're making antibodies to all these different components, not just to the spike which mutated. So it gives you a chance to fight it off better. Natural immunity is the best path for humanity. Now, the injection of foreign has unintended consequences. Why? Because it could make your immune system react extra. And IgE, which is your allergy immunoglobulin, when you get sometimes stung by a bee, you'll get anaphylaxis, but not everybody. Multiple studies have shown that we make allergy immunoglobulins to the different components of what's injected into us. And just briefly, I just want to talk to you about IgG is a big component of the myocarditis because you're making immune cells to your own heart cells. But there's treatment if they would have diagnosed you. So the IgE, they found there was IgE to the flu virus in the vaccinated flu patients before COVID. During COVID, they found that there's IgE to the COVID antigen because our body naturally makes IgE when we have toxins. That's why it's the immunoglobulin for venom and bee stings. But it doesn't know that it's a vaccine or a biologic. It thinks you got stung by a bee. And at some point, from all the repeated injections, you're going to make more and more IgE. And the problem with that is that no one's paying attention to it. And so we keep injecting and injecting and injecting, and the IgE literally hangs out on the mast cell and it releases histamine, and then you get another exposure. And so there's medications like chromal and sodium, and Dr. Brody will talk about some other medications, but we can't keep injecting people with foreign agents because our immune system is beautiful, and to it, it's just making IgE because there's foreign stuff in there. And it's not everybody. It's not, everybody's different, right? But some of us. So there's multiple studies that show that the flu vaccinated patients had a cytokine storm related to allergy or histamine because of the repetitive injections. And most likely, hypothetically, we haven't proven this, there's a cross reaction between the IgE of the repeated flu vaccines and the COVID vaccines, which is why all the military, nursing home, and healthcare workers probably got sick because we're so heavily flu vaccinated from mandates. So here's your mast cell and all your cute little antibodies. We talked about this. Anaphylaxis is the response that we make when it's a venom, but we don't know that the vaccines are something that we're supposed to be better from. So the answer is always more freedom. The science is never settled. We must have informed consent with the free ability to decline. And that ability to decline cannot be tied to what? Life, liberty, property, and the pursuit of happiness. Your government was tasked to protect life, liberty, and property in the pursuit, and your government was upside down and became the destroyer of the civil liberties for which it was tasked to protect. We need to repeal all product liability protection laws, including HR 5546 and the PrEP Act, because without that, none of you would have gotten this, because there's no way they would have released this, because the preclinical trials were terrible. Let the free market decide. I'm out of time. I want to tell you one more thing. There's 3 new things that came out. DNA contamination, that the messenger RNA is widely distributed, and the replacement of the genetic sequence that Andrew talked about earlier. If we can establish fraud that Pfizer knew but lied to the FDA, and I don't know the answer to this, the product liability protection goes away. That is what we need. God bless. Remember, you are in charge of your own freedom and your body. Thanks for coming out. Have a good day.